Have you ever watched a massive sporting event, like the finals of a world championship or the last few chaotic seconds of a tied game, and witnessed something completely baffling? One athlete steps up and just conquers the moment, while another, equally talented athlete, completely collapses under the pressure. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we're grabbing coffee with a sports psychology expert and a former elite coach to unpack the ultimate mystery in sports, the hidden science that dictates why some athletes choke and others become absolute legends.
Right, and if you've spent any time on the field, you see this constantly. For centuries, the old belief was that success depended almost entirely on physical strength, speed, endurance, and technical skill. But as sports got fiercely competitive, a fascinating pattern emerged. You can literally have athlete A and athlete B, two competitors with almost identical physical abilities and fitness levels, producing completely different performances in the exact same event. Athlete A is calm, confident, and deeply focused. Athlete B gets anxious, loses concentration, and starts making totally uncharacteristic mistakes.
Which brilliantly illustrates our core question for today. Is physical ability alone really enough to become a champion? The answer is a resounding no. And realizing that fact is actually what birthed an entirely new scientific discipline.
Part 1. The missing piece. Enter sports psychology.
So, what we are talking about is sports psychology. By definition, it's the scientific study of how psychological factors influence participation and performance in sports, exercise, and physical activity. And look, it is not just a motivational speech, it's a hard science. We're examining thoughts, emotions, personality, motivation, confidence, concentration, and stress. And it's definitely a two-way street. We also study how participating in sports influences a person's psychological well-being, their personality development, and their overall mental health.
Exactly. The crucial takeaway here is that exceptional physical talent just isn't enough anymore. In modern sports, true athletic success depends on a harmonious combination of 4 pillars: physical preparation, technical skills, tactical planning, and psychological readiness. You can have the most outstanding physical fitness on the planet, but without emotional control and concentration, consistent success is incredibly difficult to maintain.
Part 2. Birth of a Science. The Mental Edge.
So where did this all start? Did you know the first scientific spark happened all the way back in 1898? Yes, a researcher named Norman Triplett was observing cyclists, and he noticed something really peculiar. The cyclists actually rode faster when they were competing directly against others, compared to when they were just riding alone against the clock. It was a massive revelation. It was one of the first scientific investigations showing that social situations and psychological factors significantly alter physical performance. From there, in the early 1900s, Carl Diem began promoting a much more scientific approach to sports training.
But the true pioneer is Coleman Griffith. He's widely known as the father of sports psychology. In the mid-1900s, Griffith established some of the very first sports psychology laboratories. He conducted this extensive, groundbreaking research on how athletes learn, how they maintain attention, and how reaction time impacts athletic performance. Griffith essentially proved without a shadow of a doubt that mental preparation had to become an integral part of training.
Part 3. The Modern Mental Game. Fast forward to today, and almost every major international sports organization employs sports psychologists. Take a rapidly rising sports powerhouse like India, for example. The country's booming success across various disciplines has deeply highlighted the importance of mental conditioning. Whether you're looking at professional cricket franchises, elite badminton academies, or national training centers for athletics, hockey, wrestling, boxing, and shooting, they're all recognizing that psychological training is an absolute must for athlete development. Coaches, parents, and athletes are more aware than ever that the mind needs just as much coaching as the body.
So, what does that coaching actually look like in practice? While the role goes way beyond just hyping someone up to win, we work on a precise timeline. Before a competition, we're laying the groundwork, mentally preparing athletes through goal setting, confidence building, and psychological skills training. During the competition, our tools help the athlete maintain emotional control and laser focus when the pressure's at its absolute highest. And just as importantly, after the event, we assist athletes in objectively analyzing their performance, learning from mistakes, and emotionally recovering, whether that's from a crushing defeat or a massive victory.
I'd say another profound area of this work is injury rehabilitation. We usually just think about the physical healing of a torn muscle or a broken bone, but serious injuries create intense fear, frustration, and a massive loss of confidence. Even after a doctor says an athlete is 100% physically healed, they often hesitate to return to the field because of immense psychological barriers. Sports psychologists are essential here, helping athletes conquer that hidden fear and rebuild their confidence so they can compete safely again.
But keep in mind, it's not all individual work. In team sports, psychologists are really the architects of a winning culture. You can't just throw a group of talented individuals together and expect a championship. Success requires profound cooperation, clear communication, strong leadership, trust, and mutual understanding.
Exactly. Psychologists actively work to strengthen those interpersonal relationships and resolve the inevitable conflicts that pop up in high-stress team environments.
Of course, working so intimately with an athlete's mind requires strict boundaries, which brings us to ethics. Psychologists must maintain absolute confidentiality and protect the privacy of the athletes they counsel. We must work within our professional competence, meaning we're constantly updating our knowledge. Respect for the athlete's dignity is paramount, regardless of their age, gender, culture, or performance level. And finally, informed consent is mandatory. Athletes need to understand exactly what the psychological intervention entails before we even begin.
Part 4. The future is now. Tech meets mind.
Mental training has become incredibly futuristic lately, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The days of just talking on a couch are being supplemented by incredible technology. We're talking about artificial intelligence and performance analytics that track behavioral trends. There are wearable sensors and biofeedback machines that allow coaches to accurately monitor an athlete's physical stress levels, recovery patterns, and attention in real time.
Yeah, and virtual reality is being used to simulate high-pressure stadium environments so athletes can practice their mental routines. Plus, neuroscience is literally showing us how a champion's brain makes decisions under stress. It's a real game changer.
But remember, all of these high-tech interventions are grounded in rock-solid research. The foundation of sports psychology relies on systematic observation, where researchers study how athletes behave naturally in their environment. It relies on structured interviews to dig deep into personal emotions and thoughts. And it uses self-report inventories, which are scientifically developed questionnaires that precisely measure psychological traits like anxiety, motivation, and confidence. This rigorous research evaluates whether these psychological interventions actually work.
Part 5. The Everyday Champion. So, how does this apply to the rest of us? Sports psychology extends far beyond the competitive sports field, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If you are a student preparing for a massive exam, a professional walking into a high-stakes job interview, a musician stepping out onto a stage, or a business leader making a critical decision, you are experiencing the exact same psychological challenges as an Olympian.
Hit the nail on the head. The tools we've discussed, confidence, concentration, emotional control, and resilience, they aren't just athletic tools. They are the essential tools for success in every single field of life.
Which brings us to our final thought. Physical training prepares the body, but psychological training prepares the person. Champions aren't just born with stronger muscles. They are built through disciplined minds capable of remaining calm and focused when the whole world is watching. So the next time you face a high-pressure moment in your own life, ask yourself, have you only prepared your physical skills, or have you trained your mind to be a champion? Thank you for joining us for this explainer, and we hope it helps you unlock your own highest potential.